Hi and welcome back to my channel. So as we saw previously that how do we get all the user information by making a GET request. In this video we'll be covering how to handle the POST request. That is when we just send in the data and we do not actually are expecting a lot of information in return as a response. Basically we just post or we just send in the data to the API to make it work or to do a certain task. In response, what we actually get is the status code, which would signify that whether a request was a successful one or whether it wasn't a successful one. So this particular API, which we'll be using in this particular video, is to create a meeting for a user. So we'll see how are we going to make a bot or make a custom activity that we just click on one button and our meeting is created. And in the previous and upcoming videos, we'll also see that how just by making a bot or just by clicking a button, a meeting is created and the joining URL or the meeting URL has been sent to a respective group via email. So that is a later part of the video, which we'll be covering soon. So over here, some of the basic description is given, which you must go through, that you can only make 100 requests per day. That is per user. So if I am a user, I can only create 100 meetings in a day. Also, there are some more pointers given about the starting URL and the expiration of that and how that should be handled. Also, it is given that when it is expired, then you should use a retrieve a meeting API to retrieve the URL. So as we can see here also, we have this user ID field. So if you just open this thing, request parameter. So over here, you can see the user ID or email address of the user. So in the user ID, you should put in a user ID or the email address of the user. And for user level apps, pass me as the value. So which means that we can even pass me if we are using a user level app. So what we have created is obviously a user level app because it's not been linked to an organization. Like for personal use, if you're using, then it's obviously a user level app. It's not organization wide and many people are linked to it. So I can pass in me. And then we have a huge request body here. So we can create two types of meeting using this single API. We can create a normal scheduled meeting or we can create a recurrent meeting. That suppose you want the meeting to recur every week, you want the meeting to recur once in a month. So like that, you can even create a recurring meeting. So you can see here, there is a type wherein you can pass that. If you pass one, that would be an instant meeting. So whatever would be the system date, that would be picked up. If you pass two, that would be a scheduled meeting. Then you can pass a topic to the meeting. Then you can pass a start time. So start time also, you can see there are a lot of variations given that if you add Z, then it would take GMT time. And in India, if I talk about India, so that is GMT plus 5:30. So 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of GMT is what the timing of India is. So if you do not want it to be a GMT time or GMT plus 5:30, then for that you have to mention a time zone. So if you just click on the time zone list, over here you will get n number of time zone, and whichever time zone suits you, you can just pass that particular time zone. So time zone, their IDs are given and how it should be passed. That's a long list. You can just search for your country or for your time zone and then pass that thing in the time zone. Then the duration. So by default, I think it's 2 hours, but you can put in the duration, then the password if you want. Obviously, that's not required, but if you want, you can put in a password so that not everyone can join in the meeting. Then you can put in the agenda. Then if you are creating a recurrence meeting, then all these things are also required, that it has to record daily, it has to record weekly, it has to record monthly, and the other things. So you can just go through it and you'll get to you'll have a fair idea of what all you have to pass and how you have to pass. Also, then you have a response. 201 means meeting has been created. Then 300 means that invalid enforced login domains. Then 404 means not found. And if error code is 101, then user ID does not exist or does not belong to this account. So these are the things. So by passing this entire body into JSON, this schema which has been shown here, you can create a instant meeting, you can create a scheduled meeting, you can create a recurring meeting. So over here, I've just created a JSON. This is nothing but what schema was given here. You even have an option of copy paste. So you can just copy the entire thing and you can come here and you can paste the entire thing. So that's what I've done. So you can even do this thing. But then in here, there are a lot of things which you do not want to pass. And whatever you do not want to pass, you can just leave it blank. So there are certain things which are required, but there are a lot of things which is not required. So there is also, it is even mentioned here what all is required and what all is not. So start time, you have to give, if you're creating a scheduled meeting, obviously only then it is required, otherwise it is not. Also, if you just scroll down to this test thing and you go to body, then you can see this thing also. So if you do not want to, you just want to save the time and play smart, you can just copy this thing from here and paste it in your notepad, then put in the entries. And as you know that you have to pass this entire body into string because that's what UiPath demands. So you have to take care of that, that you put in all the semicolons, all the double quotes. So this is topic and then the value. So this thing ends here, separated by semicolon. So that's how JSON is. It's like key, then semicolon, then it's value. And like that, I have, pasted everything, all the required thing only. And yeah, so this is my time zone, Asia, Calcutta. And if I just add in Z here, then that means GMT. But I don't want to take a GMT time. Instead, I want to take a time of my time zone, which is GMT plus 5:30. So that's why I've added a time zone. So I'm saying it's of type 2, that it is a scheduled meeting and it should be scheduled on 1st of January 2021 at time 20, which is 8. It is just for 10 minutes. Then the time zone password, agenda is New Year's. And let me just open my Zoom account so that you can have a look that I do not have a meeting already created. Okay, so if I just go to meetings, so you can see that in the upcoming section, I have only 2 meetings that are there. One is of December 5, the other one is also of December 5. Now let's see that whether January 1st meeting gets created when we call in this API or it does not get created. Okay, coming back to our API. So as you saw, if it's a user level app, you can obviously opt for replacing user ID with me. So that's not something that I'm adding on my own. We just read it in the documents that it's clearly mentioned. So let's do it that way. So let me mention in the endpoint here, and let me replace the user ID with me. If it's not a user level app, then obviously you even read that thing that you then have to pass a user ID or an email address. Then obviously this is a post request method because we're telling it to create a meeting. And let's click on OK. Let's come in here. And now over here, we have to pass obviously the body, which is here. Let's paste it. Click on OK. And very important, authorization. You have to pass in the JWT token. So authorization. And as I told you previously, you have to add bearer. And let's just copy the token from here. Let's go to HTTP request. So this is the API call which we created in the previous video. Those of you do not know, so you can go check that video as well, wherein we send in a request to get all the user information. Let's go to header. So integrating the Zoom thing has a lot many applications or usage. There are a lot many organizations which is using it, and it could be used extensively. Obviously, I cannot show you all the APIs because I do not have a premium account, but this is how every API works. So if you just have a fair idea of few of the APIs, you'll be able to crack any of it. The whole Scrum call, which we have in daily in our office, can be automated using the Zoom thing. And that's a very big use case, which I'm telling you. That thing can obviously be automated. The Scrum call, wherein we all give the status of the work that is being ongoing. So yeah, we have put in the body, we have put in the header, we have passed the authorization header here. We have stored the result. The status code has to be 101. So 201, sorry, status code. Okay, so yeah, let's drag in a right line so that we could see the status code. Okay, and also let's uh, write in this entire whatever we'll be getting the response. Let's save it somewhere in a create meeting thing .txt. Okay, and let's run it. Okay, I forgot to just show you the status code as well, which would be, so in the previous one which we used, the status code for success was 200, that is 200, and for the create meeting, as we saw in the documentation itself, it is 201. So let's open it, and here is where the file would get created post the execution has been completed. Okay, I think again we've done the same mistake. Yes, of course. So let's wait for the status code to reflect. So I've started it in debug mode, and also that my laptop is slow these days, so it's taking a lot of time to get started and then to show the result. But other than that, the HTTP requests are way too faster if we do not go by the conventional way of opening the web page or loading the URL and then performing the task that we have to do it. The HTTP request is way too faster than that. So we have got a status code 201, which means success. Also, let's open the file which is created here. Let's see the create meeting file. So over here, you can see that the meeting has been created. So you can see the UUID. You can see all other things as well. The meeting link, the host ID, the duration, the password if you have provided for somebody to join using that password, or otherwise that person cannot join, the start URL of the meeting. So everything is here. So the usage I can tell you is that once you have created a meeting, so using this particular thing, you can get the meeting URL. You can embed that meeting URL into a Gmail invite, a customized Gmail mail invite, and send it to all your participants. So, and how to do that, I'm going to show that. I'm even going to show that how can you create dynamic emails. Before that, let's go here. So as of now, you can see that only 2 meetings are there. Let me just refresh this page so that you are able to see the meeting that we have just created. So you can see this demo meeting over here, which has just been created. Also, this was a scheduled meeting. We can even go for a recurrent meeting or for an instant meeting. For creating an instant meeting, I don't have to do anything. I can just pass in here type 1 to create the instant meeting. Let us also change the agenda so that, or the topic, so that it's clear to us. So let's change the topic to demo instant meeting. Let's click on OK, and this time let's click on run file. Also, the file which I'm creating here would get overwritten, but obviously if you do not want to overwrite files, and which is obviously not suggested, you can even go the other way around to create different files. So again, this has been executed in just 5 seconds, which even includes writing everything into the file. And if I go here and if I just refresh this thing again, so now we would have 4 meetings. Okay, we can just see 2, maybe because, yeah. So that is because these 3 are upcoming meeting, but the instant meeting maybe would be shown here in the previous meeting. If we just, where is that meeting gone? I don't know. Let's do one thing. Let's open the template to see. Let's open this create meeting template to see. So we have a UUID here, ID, password, everything, post email. So you can see that the meeting has been created. You can see type topic is demo instant meeting. Type is 1, status is waiting. So it has been created. I'll have to check that where it is created, but yes, it has been created. Okay, so that's how you create the meeting. Also, I was talking about sending the meeting invite link. So as of now, if you can see here, the HTTP request and the result, if you can see, that's a response received from the endpoint. And let's check its type. So it's a JSON object. To get values out of JSON object, we'll first have to deserialize the JSON object. So let's use a deserialized JSON to deserialize the result. Let's pass in the result here. Let's get the result object. You can name it something better than this. And I have to, out of this result thing, result object basically, what I have to get is the joining URL, because that's what we usually send in when we send it to participants to join. So let me check here. Cannot find join URL. That's okay. So we must be having some other key. The start URL, the join URL. Just a second. Let's try creating one more time and a scheduled meeting. Or we can do one thing. Let's check it here. What do we actually get in response? So that accordingly we can get the joining URL to send it into the meeting invite. So as of now, let me make this 2 and let me change the date to 1st December. It was earlier. Now let me make it 10th December. Okay, let me click on OK. Okay, let's reload it again. Meanwhile, what we can do is, let's run this thing till then. Okay, so it has been loaded. So if we just go to response, okay, yeah. So here, I think we've got host email, registration email, topic, start time, time zone, agenda. So all these things is what we'll, yeah. So here you can see the join URL. Okay, so it's join underscore URL. So because we have deserialized, now let's open, drag in a right line, and we'll write result object. In round brackets, we'll give the key name whose value we want to get. Oops, sorry. Let's drag in a right line again. Let's write result object, and in brackets and double quotes, let's write in join underscore URL dot to string. and let's run this thing again. So this time a scheduled meeting of, I think, 10th December should be created, and what should be get in right line is the URL to join that meeting, so that later on when we'll be making a custom activity to even send this meeting invite, then we'll put this join URL or embed this join URL in the dynamic email that we've created. That would be covered in the upcoming videos for sure. So you can see this URL. So this is the URL to join the meeting. I can obviously, as of now, cannot show you because I am already using Zoom to record the screen. And if I join another meeting, the recording would be stopped. But you can see that it has loaded and it is showing that if you want to start new meeting, you will have to leave this meeting. So I'm going to cancel it. I just wanted to show you that it is an authenticated URL which we have just got by deserializing the JSON, and that's how you can integrate the Zoom API to create a meeting, and that's how the post request works. So that's all for this video. And yeah, before just wrapping up, there is also one more API which is available for public use, and you can definitely try that. That is list all meetings, or I should just show you if, yeah, let me just quickly show that as well. So not list meeting polls. So there was this API, yeah, this list meeting API, which is a get API and which would get all your this thing upcoming APIs, you can say. Let me just copy this thing. So this would also be a get request, and I don't think that I need to explain you anymore that what actually will the get request do. By now you must be aware what would the get request be doing, what would the post request be doing. Okay. So this one would be a get request. Let's see what all headers and parameters we have to pass. So header one would be the authorization token, which we're already passing. If we just see the query parameters and we look, we have a look here, what does the query parameter actually means? So we have to find, pass the type, that which type we have to get in. So suppose we want to only get the all upcoming meetings, including live meetings. So the type would be upcoming. So let's keep on doing it. So here in the body, instead of all these, what we'll be passing is we'll be passing that the type would be upcoming, and what else we have to pass? We have to pass page size. The default is also there, so we need not to pass it. So let's just leave this much and see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, then we'll come and check what's the issue. So as of now, we'll just pass the type to upcoming one. And obviously you'll not get any join URL here. So let's just delete this. And instead of create meeting, let us write here list meeting. And yeah, we can have a write line to, have the status code printed, so that if it doesn't work out, we are aware that why didn't it work out. It could be because the parameters which we didn't pass, because we've just passed, I think, one parameter out of 4. Maybe one of those would be mandatory and we've left it in a hurry. But anyways, we'll get to know if that's the case. Okay. So 200 is the response we've got, and which is a positive response. And if we just open the list meeting thing, so yeah, here we are. So total records are 14. That is, there are 14 meetings that have been returned, which was the previous one also, the upcoming one, every meeting. So you can see here the topic demo meeting, Happy New Year, and this topic, Anmol Yadav's Zoom meeting. And you can see a lot many meetings like that, which I've joined earlier, and join URL of all those meetings are given. If I just search for topic and then my meeting, then my meeting test, then demo meeting. So likewise, there are 14 meetings that have been given to us by just hitting one API, which was list meeting. If you would have gone to Zoom instead of just calling in the API, it would have been little difficult to go to previous, to go to upcoming, and keep on checking. Instead, all the record was there at once in a single file. So yeah, now wrapping up this video, and we'll be covering a lot more stuff in this playlist in the upcoming videos. So thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.